In Lorien, the light lingers. It rests on leaf and water until even silence seems to have a color. My father's house has another music. The Bruinen over stone. Rain in the pine dark. Birch leaves moving before dawn. A heart may dwell long beneath golden trees and still hear water calling from home. They call me Evenstar. It is a kind name, though the stars belong to the sky before they belong to any of us. Evening only gathers what the day has loved. My grandmother says memory is a country. I have walked its roads for many lives of men. Yet sometimes a path opens with dew still upon it, and the world seems newly made.
Before Aragorn saw my daughter, he had only just received his true name. For 20 years he had been Estel in my house. I watched him grow among the waterfalls of Rivendell, beneath roofs where the songs of the elder days had not yet fallen silent. He learned the bow, the book, the sword, and the courtesy due to guests. He knew the sound of the Bruinen below the terraces. He did not yet know why the shards of Narsil had been kept so long. I had hidden him for love. I could not hide him forever. I called the young man into my study when the hour could no longer be delayed. Aragorn, son of Arathorn, heir of Isildur, chieftain of the Dunedain, I gave him the name his enemies feared and his fathers had borne. The name Estel has guarded you. Aragorn must now guide you. He looked at the heirlooms as a son looks at the sword of a dead house, and as a king looks at a realm he has not yet entered. The ring of Barahir, the shards of Narsil, the blood of Elendil, preserved through danger, secrecy, and widowed courage. That evening, the newly named heir walked beneath the birches and sang of Lothlorien. I was not in the wood. I learned of it afterward, as fathers learn many things, too late to prevent them, soon enough to fear them.
Tinuviel.
That name is woven with great sorrow and great beauty.
Forgive me. I was singing of Lothlorien, and for a moment I thought the song had stepped into the wood.
Songs do strange things in Rivendell. They pass through water and stone, and sometimes return changed.
Then this song returned more beautifully than it left me.
You speak as one newly wakened.
Elrond raised me. Until yesterday, I was called Estel.
Estel. Hope is a name given by love when the road ahead is dark.
Yesterday, he gave me another. Aragorn, son of Arathorn.
Then a hidden name has come into the light.
And found you there.
Perhaps the trees heard your song first and were kind enough to keep me still.
Thus began what I had long feared and could not forbid, a mortal man newly called to kingship, and my daughter, who had lived under the stars before his fathers were dust. The road before them would pass through a song, a command, long absence, war, marriage, and a final calling of the name Estel into silence. The day before the song must be remembered. Aragorn had grown up as Estel because Gilreen and I had hidden him from the enemies of his house. His father Arathorn had fallen in the wild lands north of the Bruinen. The child was brought to Rivendell, and the heir of Isildur vanished beneath a gentler name.
I gave him a name soft enough for a child and strong enough for a people. Hope must sometimes be hidden before it can be born.
I kept the heirlooms until he was ready to hear them speak. Here are the shards of Narsil. Here is the ring of Barahir. Here is the inheritance of a house that has waited longer than many kingdoms live.
I had thought a name was something a man answered to. That day I learned it can be something a man must answer for.
I withheld the scepter of Anuminas, not from contempt, from duty. A token of rule belongs in the hand of one who has earned a realm.
I walked from that room with heirlooms in my hands and no land beneath them. The ring was real. The sword was real. The throne was a promise on the far side of fear.
When I learned of the meeting beneath the birches, I knew what the young man did not yet know. Arwen bore the likeness of Lothlorien. If she chose as Lothlorien chose, she would pass from the fate of the Eldar into the doom of men. I had seen many griefs in Middle-earth. Few came toward me with so fair a face. My daughter will not be the bride of a man who has only a name. If this road is yours, become what the name requires, King of Gondor and Arna, no less.
You ask for two kingdoms that have forgotten how to be one.
I ask for the measure of what she would lose. Let no one call that command pride. A father who cannot save his daughter may still demand that the man who receives her spend his life in service before he receives her hand.
My father sees far. Sometimes those who see far speak sternly, because mercy has shown them too much.
Aragorn left Rivendell and did not return for 30 years. He rode with the rangers of the north. He went south under other names. In Rohan and Gondor he became Thorongil, the Eagle of the Star. He served kings and stewards, fought wars that did not know his birth, and learned the lands he might one day be called to rule.
A hidden man learns what crowned men miss. The cold before dawn. The farmer watching the road. The child who knows a ranger only as a shadow passing between the trees. I carried no banner then. That was useful. A man without a banner can stand close to the truth. In Rohan, they knew me by my horse before they knew my face. In Gondor, they knew me by victory, and that was more dangerous. Praise uncovers a man faster than accusation.
So nen Estel a dine, uke bin Estel anim.
Gilreen's farewell means, I gave hope to the Dunedain. I have kept no hope for myself.
My mother gave me to the road before I understood what the road would take from her. Only later did I hear the whole sorrow in the name she had given me.
After 30 years, they met again in Lothlorien. Cerin Amroth stood among the Malorns, and Elanna and Nifredil grew gold and white in the grass. I was not there, yet I know the place, and I know the choices made beneath golden leaves are seldom light ones.
The golden wood had kept its summer, yet you came into it carrying winter roads in your face.
30 years had passed over me like weather over stone. You stood there unchanged, and I understood that time had been speaking two languages.
Time does that. To the Eldar, it is a river seen from the bank. To men it is the river underfoot.
Then teach me how to stand.
Perhaps I came to learn how to step in.
On midsummer evening, they plighted their troth. East lay the shadow. West lay the fading light of the Eldar. Between them stood a mortal man and an immortal woman, each leaving one home and seeking another.
Dark is the shadow. Yet my heart is glad, Estel. Your road bends through it, not into it.
I cannot see the end.
Hope seldom shows the whole path. It gives enough light for the next step.
Then with your hope, I will hope.
She returned to my house. He returned to the wild. In Rivendell, Arwen made a standard for a kingdom that had not yet risen again. A black banner bearing the white tree, the 7 stars, and the high crown.
Cloth remembers the hand. Thread remembers the hour. If I cannot walk the road beside him, I can give the wind something to carry. The days grow short. Either hope comes, or hope reaches its ending. So I send what my hands have made.
When Halbarad brought the banner, I knew before I unfolded it. Some gifts arrive with a voice still warm within them.
I watched the work happen stitch by stitch. The banner was not only a royal sign, it was my daughter's answer, given in silver and gold before the world was ready to hear it. A father can set terms. He cannot command the heart to remain behind them. The War of the Ring is not the whole of this tale, yet it is the gate through which the tale must pass. At the Pelennor, Aragorn unfurled the standard Arwen had made. The black field opened above the ships from Pelagia, and what had been sown in my house became visible to armies.
A banner can be heavier than mail. When it rose, I felt Rivendell behind me, Lorien above me, and her hand in every thread.
On the 1st of May, the crown came to him before the gates of Minas Tirith. On midsummer, I rode south with my daughter. I had raised the man, I had named the price, I had come to keep faith with both.
Minas Tirith rose white before me. I had seen cities older and fairer in memory, yet this one trembled like a newly opened flower. Mortals build with stone, because they know the day will come when hands are gone. There is love in that.
I had crossed kingdoms to reach that gate. Then she came through it, and the kingdoms became the lesser thing.
Tolkien gives the wedding one paragraph. I would not ask for more. Joy too closely examined begins to reveal the grief waiting beneath it. Before the hobbits left Minas Tirith, Arwen gave Frodo the white jewel she wore at her throat.
Ring-bearer, there are wounds that do not close in the lands where they were made. I have chosen the sweet and the bitter here. The road over sea is no longer mine to take. When the time comes, let it open for you in my stead.
She gave him the passage she had surrendered. The place at her throat, where the jewel had rested, became the visible sign of her choice.
She did not speak of loss as one who regretted the gift. That was the wonder of her. She could let a door close and still bless another for passing through it.
2 years later, I left Middle-earth. I rode to the Grey Havens with Gandalf, Galadriel, and the Ring-bearers. Frodo wore the jewel Arwen had given him. The ship moved out from the quay, and the land of my labors receded behind the sea.
There are farewells the body makes before the mouth can speak them. The hand still lifts. The eyes still follow. The heart has already crossed a distance it cannot return from.
I set the price because I knew I could not stop the choice. To love a child of the Eldar is to learn that wisdom does not spare the heart.
He gave me a home, a name, a road, and finally his daughter. The last gift cost him more than the first 3 together.
They had 120 years together, and the years were good. Let the end not devour the days before it. There was rule, counsel, children, rebuilding, the white tree flowering in the court, and the kingdom stretching north again toward Minas.
Morning in Minas Tirith comes in terraces. First the high stone, then the fountains, then the voices in the lower circles rising like birds.
I had slept under hedges, in saddle cloaks, under rain, under stars that had no pity in them. Then there were mornings where the city woke below us, and she was beside me, and peace felt less like victory than bread.
Our son heard council doors before he understood crowns. Our daughters ran where kings had once walked solemnly. Children make palaces honest.
She brought no fading magic to the court. She brought memory. Lorien in her voice. Rivendell in her silences. The first age close enough to touch, and too old to measure.
The elves departed, Rivendell emptied, the Grey Havens grew quiet, Middle-earth became more mortal year by year. My daughter remained.
A house can be empty before the last door closes. First the songs grow fewer. Then the names are spoken only by those who remember the faces. Then even memory must sit alone.
I watched her listen for a world that was leaving. Men lose friends one by one. She was losing an age.
Mortality had been a word for me. Then it became gray in your hair. Then it became the empty chair of a friend. Then it became the quiet after a familiar footstep did not return.
Eomer died in the year 63 of the Fourth Age. After him, the friends who remained were the friends Aragorn had made as king, not the ones who had made him.
The world turns over its people, gently, only from a distance. From within, every turning has a sound.
In the year 120 of the Fourth Age, Aragorn went to the house of the kings in the silent street and lay down on the long bed prepared there. He was 210 years old, the kingdoms were reunited, the tree had flowered, Eldarion was ready, his labor was complete.
Beloved, I would not have you watch me dwindle until the king is only a memory sitting upright. The grace given to my line remains with me. I may give back the gift while my hand is still my own.
The sea is far now. Its sound has gone from my road.
I have no comfort equal to this pain.
I used to pity men from a height I did not see. Now the height is gone. The gift of the one is bitter at the lips, and I understand your people at last.
Let us not be overthrown at the final test. In sorrow we go, but not in despair. Beyond the circles of the world, there is more than memory.
Estel, Estel.
She called him by the name his mother gave him, the name that means hope.
If hope was ever a man, it was because you looked at me and made the name larger than I was.
He took her hand, kissed it, and fell into sleep. Arwen went forth from the house, and the light of her eyes was quenched. She said farewell to Eldarion, she said farewell to her daughters, She said farewell to all whom she had loved. Then she went out from Minas Tirith and passed north toward Lorien.
A mother leaves by blessing what she cannot remain to hold. A queen leaves by trusting the city to its own bells. A widow leaves because the rooms have learned one absence too deeply. The road north remembers him. Rohan's wind. The gray lands beyond. The old paths where rangers moved like weather. Every mile has heard his step before mine.
Lothlorien was empty. Galadriel had passed into the west. The Galadrim were gone. The Malorn trees still rose, but the light under them was ordinary daylight now.
Golden wood. You kept our midsummer once. Keep now what winter leaves.
When the Malorn leaves were falling, but spring had not yet come, she went to the hill. Cerin Amroth, the place where she had chosen him, the grass was frozen, the flowers were gone.
Here the world opened. Here Alanir shone like little suns in the grass. Here he stood with weather in his face and hope in his hands, and I stepped from the long road onto the short one. I thought mortality was a door. It was a garden. It had morning in it. Children, bread, counsel, his hand finding mine in sleep. It had winter also.
There she laid herself to rest.
Estel, the trees have kept me still again.
There is her green grave, until the world is changed. The days of her life are forgotten by the men who come after, and Alanir and Nifredil bloom no more east of the sea.